Alright, this video is to introduce or review some concepts that we need for our final exam. It's not going to be the entire review packet, but it's just going to cover a few topics. So the first topic is finding the surface area of a composite. Now we have two prisms on top of one another, one small, one big. First, I would find all the proper dimensions of each one. So the first one is a 5 by 14 by 16, the big one, I mean. The smaller one is, what is 12 minus 5? Because we got to figure out this side. So this is going to be 7. So to find the surface area, we're going to find the total for the big plus the total for the small minus 2 bases from the small. Because as you can see, the small box or prism doesn't cover the entire top of the large. So the formula for surface area is pH plus 2b, pH plus 2b, and then minus 2b from your small. Well, since we're going to be adding to get this total and then subtracting again, we can actually cancel these out. So all we need to do is find the total for the large prism and the lateral for the small. And that's all we'll need. So let's start finding all of our information. So the perimeter for the small, we're going to use this as our base because it's what's on the bottom or in between the two figures. So to find the perimeter, it's 2 times length plus width. So 2 times 6 plus 9, which is 2 times 15, which is 30. That makes the height of our small 7. The perimeter of the big, we're going to use these dimensions. So that's 14 by 6, so that's 2 times 14 plus 16, which is 2 times 30, or 60. And then our height is 5. And then the area is going to be 14 times 16, which is, sorry guys, should have had it ready. Alrighty, I'm sorry. So that was 14 times 16, which is 224. So let's substitute everything where it belongs. All right, the perimeter of the big was 60. The height was 5. The base area was 224. Perimeter of the small is 80. Sorry, 30. And the height is 7. So this would be 300 plus, this is 210 And this is going to be 448. So that's 748 plus 210, which is 958 centimeters squared, grand total. Oops, too many. All right, the next one. If x equals BE, let's put it on our picture. Which proportion could be used to solve for x? So since our triangle has some parallel lines, that means that it um, causes proportionality amongst the sides. I didn't mean to do that. So for example, 8 is proportional to x, and 20 is proportional to this piece if we had it. But we don't yet. We could say it is 35 minus x though. So let's see if this setup is one of the options. So I'm going to color code everything the same way I've done it. So 20x, sorry, rewind that. 20, 35 minus x, and 8 is to x. So as long as the color coded pieces are in the same location of the fraction, then it's okay. So in other words, I could have wrote it as 8 over x equals x, I'm sorry, 20 over 35 minus x as well. That's an alternative. Notice both of the reds are together and then both of the greens are together. So that's another way I could have set it up as well. So just be careful if you're color coding. It's a good idea, but make sure you're consistent. So for example, 8 came from the top left, 20 came from the top right. X came from the bottom left, so what do these two have in common? They're on the left. Then this one came from the bottom right, so these are both on the right. Or I could do left over left, top left over bottom left is equal to top right over bottom right. So both of these came from the top, but both of these were in on the same part. So left or right. So as long as it's consistent is what I'm really trying to say, then it's an acceptable proportion. If it's not consistent, then I probably wouldn't use it. To be on the safe side, when it's broken like this, it's actually showing you some good fractions to use. So I always say go with what's given. So if 8's on top of x, write it that way. If 20 is on top of 35 minus x, again, write it that way, and you can never go wrong. So what if it's not an answer choice? Then figure it out if it's multiple choice. If it's short answer, then you're good. Where's my scroll? I should be able to scroll down. I can't see my whole. not the look I was going for. But there we go. All right, in the figure below, it says that IJ is parallel to MN. So you might want to add the parallel triangles. So IJ with MN. So now again, since I have parallel lines, I now have proportional pieces. It's telling us that M is the midpoint of this line and N is the midpoint of this line. Find X. So we're going to use proportions. On this particular situation though, I would probably um, want to set it up, separate the triangles. So let's look at the names. So I have, oh Lord, sorry guys, my stuff, it doesn't, technology doesn't want to cooperate right now. It's moving a little slow. When I'm in a hurry, it always works that way. So I have I, J, Q as the really big one with M, N, Q. And then I would relabel what I know. This is X plus 2. And this is X minus 4. So if I to Q is 24, that means M to Q is 12. And then again, I to Q is 24. So the proportion I would use in this case is IJ is to MN as IQ is to MQ. And then it would be 24. Sorry, not 24. I'm going to go in order. X plus 2 over x minus 4 equals 24 over 12. And then we would cross multiply to solve for x. So it'd be 24 times x minus 4 equals 12 times x plus 2. Again, this is why process is key when you're solving proportions. It's not just a simple cross multiply divide always, folks. So show the correct process. Now distribute 24, so that will give me 24x. Sorry, my pen is moving slow. Minus 96 equals 12x plus 24. Subtract 12x, so that's 12x minus 96 equals 24. Add 96, so 12x equals 96 and 24 is 0, 120. My pen doesn't want to cooperate today. Forgive me, guys. I'm so sorry. And then divide both sides by 12. X is 10. So make sure you understand how to set up proportions and make sure you understand how to solve proportions. All right, lovely proofs. Why can I not see the bottom of my page? It's irking me, guys. I'm sorry. Anywho, It says segment AP is congruent to segment PC. So I'm going to mark that. Segment DP is congruent to segment PB. It says angle APB right here is congruent to angle DPC right here. And it says because vertical angles are congruent, which is true. That way, we have triangle APB congruent to triangle CPD because of side angle side. Yes. And since the triangles are congruent, we now know that these angles BAP is congruent with DCP. And because those are congruent, we now know that AB is parallel to CD. So draw your parallel arrows. And that's the converse of the alternate interior angle theorem. Then it says APD is congruent to CPB. I'm going to get a different color. Again, vertical angles. And then these triangles are congruent by side angle side. APD, BPC, and I probably said it backwards. So again, that means angles inside it, ADP, so right here, and this one are congruent because of CPCTC. So now we know that these two sides are parallel. So we have proved that both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. So that is why ABCD is a parallelogram. So our C would be the reason for 10, since both pairs of opposite sides of the parallelogram are parallel. Now for this one, it wants us to draw segment AC. Okay, something is going on with my page and I can't figure out why it's so huge. But we'll just take it like this for now. It wants us to draw segment AC. So let's draw that segment. All right, and find its length. To find the length of this type of segment, we need to do a fancy version of Pythagorean's theorem. So this one is a squared plus b squared plus c squared equals d squared, since it's a three-dimensional object. So the shortcut is d is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared plus c squared. With that being said, AC, however, is equal to the square root of 9 squared plus 5 squared plus 6 squared. So that's 81 plus 25 plus 36. 81 and 25 make 106. And then plus 36 is 142. And now we're going to simplify the radical by breaking 42 apart. I know it's even because of, I want to say 71. Yes. 71, 7 plus 1 is 8, so it's not divisible by 3. I don't believe 71 is divisible by anything else. So the simplified version is the square root of 142. And then if need be, we can put in the calculator and approximate. So the square root of 142 is about 11.92. Now, I want you to try and find the length of GN on your own. We have it 10 by 15 by 8. All right, so we're going to find the area of this figure. That's what the instructions should say. I'm sorry, they don't. This is a regular 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a regular pentagon, meaning all sides are congruent as well as all angles. But we don't know what each angle measures right off the bat. So to find each angle measure, we use the interior angles theorem or rule, which says for one interior, come on, pen, is equal to 180 times n minus 2 over n. So in this particular case, that would be 180, 5 minus 2 over 5, which is 180 times 3, which is 540, divided by 5 is, I believe, 120. Let me double check. No, not 120. 105. Let me just grab a calculator. 108. I'm so sorry, guys. So each interior angle measures 108 degrees. So when I draw my apothem triangle, it's not going to be 30, 60, 90 because I'm splitting 108 up into 2. So half of 108 is 54. So this interior angle is 54 and it's 54 outside. So here's my apothem triangle. Here's the apothem. This is 54. So I can't use my 30, 60, 90 rules for everything. Only the hexagon and equilateral triangle. So with that being said, I know I got to find my apothem so I can find the area. I know the apothem splits the side 8 into 2, so this bottom piece is 4. So the only thing I can use to find my apothem is trigonometry. So in perspective of our angle, our reference angle 54, the apothem is opposite and the given side is adjacent. So that means I would have to use tangent. So tangent of 54 is equal to my apothem divided by 4. So when I cross multiply, that means my apothem is going to equal 4 times tangent of 54. And now we can put that into the calculator and approximate. Make sure you're in degree mode. So go to mode, make sure it says degree. So turn it on. Second mode to quit and type 4 times tangent of 54. Exactly like that. And you would get about 5.51. Or leave it as is, which would give us an even better answer later. So it's about 5.51. Now I can find my area. Area is equal to apothem times perimeter divided by 2. So that means 4 times tangent of 54. And to find my perimeter, it's going to be 8 times 5, because there's 5 sides. All of that divided by 2. Now, if I put it in the calculator like this, I'm going to get the best answer because this will give me a more accurate answer. So alpha y equals 1 to get my fraction. And now, again, 4 times tangent of 54 times 8 times 5 all over 2. And the final best answer for my area is 110.11 miles. It's best not to round to the very last possible step. So that's why I was saying using the 4 tan 54 was better. Now find the area of this figure using similar methodology to what I just did. And that's about all. We needed extra to practice to get you ready for finals. Again, continue working on the packet and make sure you turn it in before your tests. Good luck.